Welcome back to our scrap cooking cut like a chef mini series. In this episode, I'm going to show you a various amount of ways to cut your carrots. And again, if you have anything that you want me to show you, simply just write it in the comments and we'll put it into production and we'll get it done, because I'd love to show you things that you want to learn. So for carrots, I've got these beautiful carrots, lovely colored carrots from a farm. And so you have two options right off the bat. You can keep the skin on or you can peel it. So if you keep the skin on, especially if they're farm carrots, you want to wash them really well because they'll have some dirt on them because that's where they come from. So we'll get them. If you have a little scrubby that is a clean, fresh one, you can use that. Or there's also little like scrub brushes that are made of little sticks that work too. You can get them. These ones have been washed and dried already, but they're perfect. But if you do want to peel them, these little Y peelers are my preferred one. Although when I was little, I was told that they were the safety one, and that as an adult, I would get the one that looks more like a knife, but with this guy on the bottom. But I've actually grown to prefer these guys. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it. So I actually like to just start at the top and just pull down and turn the carrot with my hand. So I'm always kind of peeling in the same spot, but the carrot is rotating if I'm peeling my carrots. Now, I actually don't usually peel my carrots because a lot of the nutrients are actually right under the skin, and that's really good for you. So I'll usually keep them with the peels on, but that's okay. If you don't like peels, no worry about it. Peel them. Another way to peel your carrots is to hold it this way and peel away from yourself. So kind of the same idea as you kind of keep the peeler in the same spot but rotate the carrot. Now I find this more difficult, but that might just be because I'm used to doing it the other way. But whichever way is easier for you is the right way. There's no right way in cooking. There's just whatever way is easier for you. And each different method that you learn can be used in a different scenario. And the more of them that you have, the more tools you have to use them when you need it. So now the peels, in a different episode, you'll have to tune in. We're gonna make carrot chips out of them. And they are delicious, crunchy, a little bit sweet. So I'll put those aside and I'll show you that another time. But so there's a couple different ways. Oh, knife is attached to that tea towel. So I'm just gonna take the end with the top end, and I'm gonna keep it because it's still full of flavor, and I'm gonna put it in my little bowl that I'm gonna add to my stock. And I'm gonna do that with the end. And I'm just gonna cut it on an angle because I like the look of that sort of the tip of the carrot. So I'm going to also cut it in half, but on an angle. And we can do it like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold my carrot with my 2 fingers on the outside, and I'm gonna cut right in the middle. And then you can see that it's got this nice angle to it. And I'm gonna cut that carrot, and I'm gonna flip it onto its flat side so it doesn't run away on me. And I'm just gonna cut that in half again. And then you've got this nice little piece of carrot that almost looks like it's got the tip end, and it looks really nice on a plate, and those ones I would use for roasting. So I'm gonna do the same for these guys. And again, I'm gonna hold it right here. I'm gonna cut it in half. Then I'm gonna put it on its flat side and cut it in half again. So we've got these nice little bits for roasting. Now for this guy, I'm gonna keep him whole, and I'm gonna cut the little top off. Again, I'm gonna keep it. And I'm just gonna cut that guy straight, because this guy, I'm gonna cut in half. And I'm gonna show you how to julienne the carrot. So you've probably seen in other cooking shows the mandolin. It's a piece of equipment that's got a blade on it that you kind of go like this, and it has you can vary the angle, how wide the cut is, and they're very useful in the kitchen when you need to do a lot of these, but not everybody has one at home. So we can do it. I believe in you. We just need to hold the carrot sort of with your top and bottom and your thumb so that it's not going to go anywhere, and kind of keep it in place with your index finger. And we're just going to cut just a little bit off, and then now we're going to rotate it. So now it's got a little flat edge, so it's a lot easier to cut. So now we're going to use our fingers and hold it still, and you're gonna put the flat part of your finger against the knife, so it's not gonna cut your finger, but it is gonna steady it. So, and then we're gonna cut. So we've got these nice, small, flat pieces. And at this point, you can see it doesn't wanna stand anymore, but that's okay. We're gonna put it on its flat edge, and then we're gonna keep going, and then it's not gonna be wobbly on you. Now when you get closer to this end piece, I'm gonna pinch it with my fingers, and then I'm gonna gently cut it. So you can keep them like this if you want, but the way that if we wanted to julienne them, you kind of make a little row of them all so that they're all kind of leaning up against each other. And then I'm going to keep my knife so that it's lined up with the edge of my board. And again, with the flat part of my finger, I'm just gonna hold it so that it can rest by it, and we're just gonna cut them in small sort of matchsticks. And kind of move your fingers back as you go. If it gets wobbly, that's okay. You can flip it over and put it on its more flat edge. So you want them to be as straight as you can, but if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. You're gonna eat it, and it's still gonna be delicious. So now we've got these lovely julienne, and with that lovely color of the purple on the edge of it. So you've got these nice sort of multicolored carrots, which is awesome. So there's a couple things you can do with them. You could throw them in a stir fry or in a little slaw. You could put them in a salad. You could pickle them, and the purple color will kind of bleed a little bit, and it will kind of turn them all this slightly purpley pinky color, which is lovely. So we'll put those aside. And so if you just wanted some larger chunks, when it's the small end of the carrot, I actually just sort of cut them like that. And then when it's time for them to, when they get a little bit wider, I actually sort of make an incision. So about 3/4 of the way through the carrot, like that. So it's almost like it's got little legs. And then it will hold it together because you didn't cut it all the way through. So then we get these little half moons, but everybody's sort of the same size. And then if you get to the really big part of the carrot, I would do that again, but then I would cut it so that now it's got 4 little pieces, but it's still stuck together with the end. So that we've got little smaller pieces. Now this end piece, then you can just finish the cut. And then you've got nice pieces for maybe a stew or a soup. I'll put these guys aside. So again, I'm gonna cut that top off, but I'm gonna keep it for my stock. And I'm gonna cut this little edge off. And for this guy, I'm gonna show you a different cut. It's an oblique cut. It's a fun word. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have it so that the angled edge is facing you. But then we're gonna turn it so that it's got an edge on either side. And then we're gonna turn the carrot again, and we're just gonna keep turning the carrot. And then we've got these sort of larger chunks that are a bit fun. So they're good, they can be nicely roasted. You can throw them in, again, a stew for a bigger chunk. And they're nice when they're roasted because the edges will get a little bit crispy, but the middle will be thicker, so it won't be as, it won't be crispy. It'll have a nice, nice softness to it. So that's delicious. All right, for this last carrot, for my last trick, we're gonna take that guy off and put it with our stock, same with the end piece. And we're gonna cut it on an angle, which is nice for stir fries. So again, I'm gonna line my knife up with the board and I'm gonna turn the carrot. And I'm just gonna go, I don't want it to be too thin because they will, if it's for stir fry, they'll just kind of wilt and get kind of flabby. But if you want some crunch, kind of want it, I guess like an 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. And if they start getting too wide, like that's good size. But now we can cut it in half and keep going. So, and it will be easier because it's not gonna slide around on you. And this little end piece, you can either keep going with the knife if you want, or you can just keep it for stock. So for this guy, kind of go the opposite way. So pointing down. And again, that little piece are just gonna keep for stock. So then we've got these nice sort of angled pieces. And yeah, we've cut the carrot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways. So thanks so much for watching our little mini series, and we'll see you next time.